Well, Chiefs Kingdom, you waited, you wished, you longed, you wanted a wide receiver to be added to the room in free agency, and you got your wish last night. Leave it to Brett Veach and company to give the theatrics to the free agency period. First, it was Chris Jones with the headlines of 3 years, $95 million guaranteed that strum up Chiefs Kingdom and kept you guys awake all night long. Last night, it was Marquise Brown signing a 1-year, $7 million contract with $11 million in incentives. We're going to break him down today on the RGR Football channel. My name is Daniel Harms, senior film analyst. And if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit that sub button right now and then allow me to earn a like from you with this film breakdown, a little bit of statistical analysis as well. And yes, that's right, Hollywood Brown.
You got any cash? Hollywood?
And if you don't get that reference, I'm a little upset with you, but we'll make it happen because Hocus Pocus is a fantastic Halloween movie. But I'm going to move on here to get to Hollywood Brown because he's a fantastic addition to this wide receiver room, and he replaces what Marquise Valdes-Scantling brought with more added ability to win at all 3 levels of the field. He is not a Tyreek Hill type player. I've seen that kind of thrown around out there. He's not going to be making guys miss. He had 5 missed tackles forced last season. He's not someone that's going to be quick twitch winning and making guys, taking it for 6. That's not his game. He is I'm going to win short, intermediate, deep, has the speed to take the top off, but also that deceleration that Tyreek Hill was famous for. Maybe not to that extent. So if you really want to push it here, you could say he's Mecole Hardman with a lot more route running chops. So that ability to decelerate at the top of his route, which we'll get into in the film room here in a second, is one of the hallmarks of his game. But the one thing that I think people maybe didn't understand is that, last year he lined up outside 79.8% of the time. So he's a player that plays on the outside, he plays from the inside, and in his career, he's never lined up at a lower percentage than 64.6% of the time on the outside. So he has experience playing inside, playing outside, winning in both against man, against zone. He was much better last year in his age 26 season against man coverage than he was before. So whether it was the system they were running in Arizona last year with, Shane Steichen bringing in a little bit of a different concept that's not air raid like it was done by Cliff Kingsbury, or him more understanding his body, his ability to win against man. We're going to talk all about that. This is definitely a player who is able to line up next to Travis Kelce, Rashee Rice, and create space. That's exactly what they want. They want to add players to the room that complement the receivers around. Travis Kelce, Rashee Rice, and now Hollywood Brown, who again is going to have an opportunity to get paid one more time, maybe, if he continues to prove that he can play this season healthy. Earning another contract in the NFL is a huge step for him, and that's one of the big reasons. He signed in Kansas City, along with playing with Patrick Mahomes and having the ability to maybe win a Super Bowl if the Chiefs go and get that three-peat in 2024. So Hollywood Brown, bottom of your screen, against man coverage, is an explosive player, and he's not always going to be creating space downfield and winning over the top all the time, but he has a fantastic knack for tracking the football. That is another area where the Chiefs really have been lacking, specifically downfield. And we've seen that Patrick Mahomes gets more comfortable with these back shoulder or maybe underthrown footballs a little bit down the field. And when you have that close coverage, it has to be a well-located football. The receiver has to stack the corner very well. And again, you're going to see him come down here on the right-hand side. But initially, we're going to get to see the defense at the top of your screen, or in the middle, rotate to a little bit of a single high defense. So that safety on the right-hand side is going to rotate to the back, and then you have the safety on the left-hand side underneath on the bottom of your screen, and that side is going to come downhill. And that's where we see Kyler Murray understand, take the top, sees that the top of the defense is shifting, and just takes a shot down the right-hand side. And now we have Marquise Brown, who has stacked his cornerback. They are step for step right here. He's already looking over his shoulder to the football, looking to track the football, and then he's going to make some plays down the field that really excite me. Little minute details. Right here, he's got hand fighting. As soon as that corner turns his head around, he puts his hand on the small of his back, just gives him a little tap. And when you do that, it sells like you're going to continue running downfield, and then he stops and he tracks it and goes and attacks the football, adjusting his body around to make a fantastic catch here on the right-hand sideline. So the tracking, the body language, and the body positioning, all in this little play from Marquise Brown, are exactly what make him special, different from what we've seen in Kansas City for their deep threats the last couple of seasons. This is where he's going to make his money as a player that maybe can continue to find some single coverage and make it pay. This is one of those plays that I really liked to highlight because it shows you, one, the ability to track the football where it is and come down with it in close man coverage is something we haven't seen a ton of in Kansas City in the past 2 years. I think Juju Smith-Schuster did it best. Rashee Rice has done it a couple of times, but he's consistently doing this. Hollywood Brown is doing it consistently in the NFL and has been over multiple seasons. So the deep threat stuff, regardless of where he's lined up, again, this time he's on the line of scrimmage, just in a stack formation, is exactly what the Chiefs want. This is a really nice adjustment based off the cover 3 look that the 49ers are going to give them. And he is a play action fake as well. So you have this little dagger concept. The right-hand side, you got Michael Wilson going to just take the top off and force the defensive or the cornerback here into having to run with him. And again, you have this deep-ish over route. He's going to adjust it a little bit. So he's going to clear the linebackers, and then he's going to get down instead of maybe taking it a little bit further downfield and coming across on a deep dig route. This time he understands that the space over the middle of the field is more open because of the play action fake. So you have those linebackers that do hesitate really quickly off the snap here. They don't get back immediately. So we know one of two things is going to happen. This defensive player now, because of cover 3, you don't have that natural underneath linebacker or flat player. So he has responsibility there with the running back taking it to the flat a little bit. That makes takes one defender out of this play completely because he'll be underneath. Also, we know that the corner up top is going to be running vertically with this player. So that takes him out of the play as well. The one guy who has the opportunity to maybe recover is Fred Warner because he's Fred Warner. He's a freak. So Marquise Brown, again, he's outside releasing just a tad here. And then he's going to go open over the middle of the field right here. So this is just a really nice job understanding those linebackers can create space. This safety, if I keep going downfield, this safety is going to cut me off. I can't get here. So I have this deep route down the field. I know that if I can get to the right-hand side now, I'm wide open. So really nice job here. And then that was the wrong player. My apologies. I was highlighting the wrong guy. Inside Marquise Brown here is going to go, and then he's going to release to the inside. So he released inside first, gets to the next level with those linebackers, and then he's clear in space where he's then able to turn it upfield for a big play. The vertical element to the Chiefs offense has been missing, but I think the intermediate, deeper parts of the big plays have been missing as well. We've seen Rashee Rice do that route specifically a couple times where he's created and generated big plays. Travis Kelce's done it a few times. That one against Fred Warner in the Super Bowl was very similar. It was much more shallow is all. So those are incorporated in the Chiefs offense already, and he does a good job of running those routes, timing it out well, and being open when the ball is coming to him. And I think that's a really unique part to what the Chiefs ask, is they want you to be able to run all the routes in their out tree, line up everywhere. But also, obviously, over the last couple of years, we've seen the inability to create space for themselves. That's something that we're going to see right here from Marquise Brown, who at the top of your screen has off-man coverage, and he's going to give himself a two-way go. Release, you have an outside leveraged defender, and he wants to get to the outside. So he wants to run this, just supposed to be a little corner route, but he sees the overcommitment from this DB right into the middle. So you've got cover 3 once again, but he's going to overcommit to the inside because of the inside release from Marquise Brown. I'm going to interchange Marquise and Hollywood just because I'm talking about him. So it's just going to naturally be that way. So at the top, you're going to give himself a two-way go. He's going to take it to the inside quickly and then break off to that left-hand side of the field. Just a really nice job. Again, release to the inside, take it up, stop, head fake, shoulder fake, quickly. That DB is lost. He's got nothing here for it. He's over the middle of the field. And when you're able to, again, turn shoulders, turn heads to create space for yourself, that's manipulation tactics at its finest. he does a good job of that. Obviously, with Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes throwing the football, Rashee Rice, who showed he can be an effective weapon in this offense, you're going to see a little bit less of the best defender. Now, he probably comes in as the quote-unquote number one wide receiver in the room right now. This should not discourage the Chiefs from adding a big body, whether it's Mike Williams, whether it's the draft, and still multiple wide receivers in the draft because of the simple fact that Hollywood Brown is on a 1-year deal. We don't know if he's going to end up getting extended or if he's going to price himself out by performance like Juju Smith-Schuster did. That's very possible. And also when you have the injury concerns, I think the Chiefs are just looking to improve their wide receiver room and maybe, again, go win that third Super Bowl ring right now. So he, again, lines up all over the place. This time he's out of a bunch formation as the furthermost receiver on the left-hand side. This is just a fun little play. And when you are reading defenses, it gives you the opportunity to peek in the backfield. So it's a fun concept. The Cardinals are going to run from the inside most receiver is going to take this inside and then go to the corner. So usually you see the apex receiver as the one running the corner out. They change it up a little bit. The apex receiver, Rondale Moore, is just going to run a drag route from the apex to the right-hand side. Then you have a little bit of hesitation here, just going to release like he's running a flat route. And that's when we get to see the peak, because this defensive back right here is going to go with him and think that this is just a regular flat route. And then you have, again, that release to the inside, and he's going to watch these defensive players right here, see where they're going and see where the space is. He's going to adjust his route based on the coverage and the space provided. So here's that little flat route right here. You can see his eyes. You can literally see him looking. He's like, all right, where's this DB going? Where's he going? Is he going to follow me? I'm going to look this way. I can see that space. So he understands now, all right, 14, Michael Wilson's going to take these guys deep. I'm going to cut back inside in that blind spot. Whoop, he has no idea where he is. He gets open. Nice little play right there. He does this in regular zone coverage as well. He identifies soft spots. He sees space, and he goes into it and gets those timing routes off, things that the Chiefs do a lot of. That's another reason I think that you're going to see him, why he's in Kansas City, because he fits what they do very well. Like I said, he lines up in the outside, lines up in the slot. He can win from both. We've got man coverage here, and this is one of those intermediate off-man coverages where you're going to run this dig route over the middle of the field, release to the inside, and get open to the right-hand side. This is one of the problems that Hollywood Brown actually had this season. This wasn't his fault. He had a 56% catchable ball rate in 2023. First of all, this ball needed to be out far quicker. So we have the play action fake. That ball needs to be out now. This is a layered throw. Needs to be thrown out in front, and it needs to be gone now. You throw it over the intermediate defender right here. Throw it over him to a window. Instead, we get wait, and then throw, and then he throws it behind Brown, because that still could have been completed at the sideline. But he's open right now. Again, it's all about the timing. We've seen Patrick Mahomes come out of these plays and rip a throw over the middle of the field in the intermediate parts. So he's open, and then, like I said, that 56% catchable ball rate, which equates to 4 catchable targets per game. That's a huge problem for a guy who, again, is very good at finding space and getting into it and getting open. When you're open like that, the ball needs to be on time, on target, in the right spot. We know that Patrick prides himself on throwing the football to the right spot, and how frustrated he was last year with receivers not being in the right spot. Oh, and by the way, Marquise Brown was number 2 in the NFL in target separation versus man coverage. So when he was targeted against man coverage, he was open a lot. I think this is the reason why you see him in this trip side, and he's going to release to the outside and then cut back over the DB's face right open quickly on third down on a little slant. So an outside-inside slant. Really fantastic job here with hand fighting over the middle. Boom, wide open. Should have been a first down. Maybe it would have been a little bit longer of a completion had that ball gotten there. So, again, you guys have already seen the multitude of ways that he's won against man coverage, against zone coverage, running different routes, the different things that he's able to do. And we know that timing in the Chiefs offense is so pressed upon. It's harped upon. And that's what the Chiefs want, right? They want to be able to throw the football to a spot on the field with timing and know a receiver is going to be there. This is a really fun play out of a stack formation where you get a free release to Marquise Brown against a man coverage defender on the outside with inside leverage. Or outside leverage, excuse me. He wants to get to the outside too. So watch the DB as Marquise releases. He's going to overcommit back to the inside, turn his shoulders to the inside, and Brown releases to the outside. That ball's nice. It's a little bit late on the timing as well, but at the end of the day, this is open no matter what because he releases quickly. Speed is everything. You speed release down the field. You sell that vertical route. That DB thinks you're going vertical, and then you decelerate and you cut back to the out route. Really nice job selling a route vertically and being able to get out. And he doesn't have to break down into his hips to decelerate. You see him kind of put his foot in the ground, just slightly rounded off, but he understands because of where the defensive back is on the field that he's going to keep going vertically a little bit, so he's got time. That's another understanding, another area where he's grown as a player, I think, since Baltimore and since Oklahoma, honestly. So now you've got man coverage at the bottom of the zone against a pretty man-heavy team in the the Cleveland Browns. Fantastic job. We're going back to that deceleration. So we just saw an out route where he sold vertically against an off coverage player. This time he's going to sell vertically against a man coverage player. Right here, he stacks him, sells vertically, sinks his hips, and decelerates quick. That's, again, two different routes from selling a vertical route against the, he's the solo player on this side. So he's isolated on the right side. Look at where the defense is right here. You've got a safety here, a corner off here on the left-hand side. So we know as an offense, at worst, you're going to have spot right here. Maybe not here, maybe not down here, down the field, but you have that opening. And Brown does a good job of stopping here, 10, 11 yards down the field, 12 yards down the field, coming back to the football. Giving himself a little bit of space too. Tacks the ball with his hands when it's in the air. And doesn't like to let it travel to his body, and that's why we saw his drop numbers really start to decline over the last 2 years. 3 in 2022 and 3 in 2023. So that should be music to Chiefs fans' ears to see he's gotten better from a drops department. Now this is the one area really where there's going to be some struggle with him. Press man coverage, the physical aspect is not his strong suit. When you can get hands on him, you're going to be able to throw off the timing. This is a third down route. Supposed to just, again, be an isolated receiver, slant inside, get it open. Right here, you get hands on him. Throws off the timing, nearly picked off by the DB. So this is, again, the one area. I think that there's two real, maybe you could say, struggles to his game. He's not a guy that goes up and gets a bunch of balls. He's 5'9". I don't expect him to be, a contested catch player. And they shouldn't be, but the fact that he had so many off-target balls last year from the 3 different quarterbacks that he played with shows you that he was forced into some contested catch situations. Being able to catch 5, I think, of the 23 targets he had was good for him, but we also saw the ball tracking from him in multiple different, in that first play that I showed you. So situation does matter, and I think that at the end of the day, finding different ways, unique ways to get him off of press, off of physical press, and jam is going to be what Andy Reid does best. And even so, you don't face it a ton in the NFL. Now, we got some more man coverage down here, or excuse me, not man coverage. They're going to show man and come out of it. But this is a Mahomes throw. You see him throw his hands up there at the end. This is exactly a kind of throw that Patrick Mahomes makes and will attempt to make. So he's going to release to the inside quickly, and then he's going to get to the corner, but he's going to kind of fade it. It's not going to be a crisp corner because this is cover 4 defense. You have a little bit of space. You have a little gap out here. So again, you've got that cover 4 look with that corner, Charvarius Ward underneath. Just watch where he gets open and where this safety out here gets a little caught. So right now, step up, and this should be thrown down the field out here. And Patrick Mahomes would absolutely throw this football. So this ends up being open over here where he doesn't actually get the ball. He sails it. But this is exactly the kind of thing that Patrick Mahomes likes to do and that the Chiefs like to attack, especially with that 12, 13 personnel. You can put him on one side of the field, attack vertically with it, with the play action pass, and this would be a touchdown for Patrick Mahomes. He'd throw that to the flag, and that would be a touchdown. So that's, again, an area where the Chiefs and Marquise Brown fit, especially with the attention and the gravity that I think that we're going to see Travis Kelce and Rashee Rice bring to the offense this season. I like that he's wearing these white cleats with the white gloves. The yellow cleats or gold cleats with the gold gloves. He's already ready. He's going to be able to wear those next year in Kansas, or this year in Kansas City, now that the new league year has been designed. What's one of the most frustrating things from 2023 when watching the Chiefs wide receivers? It was running into coverage. This is the exact opposite, where we see the quarterback throw the football to where that safety is going to be. And we're going to see, again, he's going to come, this is a big over route. So he's going to release to the inside, and then he's going to bend this out. The one thing you're going to see is this receiver right here, Rondale Moore, running a curl route here. That's going to draw both of the defenders right here and right here to that area and leave a big space on the bottom left-hand side of your screen wide open. So instead of just running his route into the safety where he's going to be able to keep going, you think it would be smart to kind of flatten this off? Yeah, I think it would be smart to flatten it off too. How many times did we watch Patrick Mahomes throw into space and see the receiver run into coverage? That's not going to happen with Marquise Brown. He's running this into space, letting his quarterback decide, look, you have all this space, throw it into it. I can run underneath it. But if you throw it deep down the field, the safety has the ability. Also, this ball hangs up. Like, this is a ball that hangs from Kyler Murray. So even if you want to throw it down this way, throw it down this way. Don't just loft it up there and put a ton of air on it. Put it on a line. Let me go get it. Instead, he throws it up, puts too much on it, and Marquise is forced to have to go win a contested ball, really kind of just play defense in that situation. So that's an area where he's going to improve the wide receiver room immediately, running into space, becoming a viable target downfield for your offense. And instead of running into defensive coverage, he's going to run away from it and into space and give Patrick a receiver that will just be quarterback friendly. That's not too much to ask, and that's something that I saw quite a bit in the 5 different games of his that I watched. So we've got, like I said, I watched about 5 games of him, and he forced 3 or 4 pass interference penalties in those 5 games. And I watched him against the Browns, the 49ers, the Rams, and like I said, the Ravens, and then there was one other team, the Cowboys. Those 5 games. You notice anything different about these 5 teams that I singled out for a reason? They play a lot more man coverage. They play a lot more press man coverage. And when you do that, as a receiver who can quickly stack, you're going to release to the outside right here, right now, and stack Marlon Humphrey, a very good corner in his own right. And when you stack, you put the cornerback at the mercy. And right here, he tries to get hands on him. Very nice job winning outside vertically with that swipe, with that arm over. And then he's, again, releasing. And then what he does right here is beautiful. He does win vertically outside, but then he's going to keep this route going inside. What does this do? Well, it creates a window. It creates an outside window. Earlier, that first clip that I showed you, we saw the ball tracking on display. If you were to throw this football to the outside with his inside stem taking this all the way down the field to the safety, it's a completion, maybe even a touchdown. But again, this is Josh Dobbs throwing this ball down the field to him, and he forces a penalty on the defense. This is a really good job, again, adjusting to the football. But if it is thrown to the outside, he's already looking for it. So he would be able to adjust to this. He'd be able to stop and turn his body to the outside and go get that differently. But the way he created a throwing lane to the outside, that's what excites me. Again, release to the outside, hands, win quickly against man coverage. And then right here, the ball tracking, I'm going to go get this and force a penalty. Like over those 5 games that I watched, 3 or 4 defensive pass interferences that he forced. So all in all, Marquise Brown is a speed player that's going to win at all 3 levels of the field. And yes, he's going to struggle against press man coverage. He's a lighter guy. He's a smaller guy. But this is really what he's done well in his career. Be a guy that wins on the outside. And then we have the added caveat that he's a really good sideline field player too, with the ball tracking and with the ability to go and get a football. And this is one of the only ones that really he let travel. I think mostly because he wanted to time it well. Just a little push off at the end just to create that separation and then keep his feet in bounds. Mastering the art of the push off as the offensive player is something that we've seen T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, even Justin Jefferson to an extent do as well. But it's all about timing. When you can hide the hands till the last second, when you can flash that ability to just not extend your hands all the way, but just enough to create that separation at the sideline, you're doing yourself a service. And this is a really, really fantastic play at the end. He doesn't really get pushed outside. You see a lot of receivers get pushed into the sideline to where this kind of throw and catch can't happen. That doesn't happen a ton with Marquise. He gives himself space, mostly because he's a very good release player. He's quick to get to those releases and stack the corners. So that's Hollywood Brown in a nutshell. He's going to be a great 3-level winner in space, especially with how Andy Reid designs offenses and gets guys into space. He does add to Travis Kelce and Rashee Rice. Now you can't zone in on those guys. I do think that he's going to be someone that opens up space for everybody else and then can take advantage of the space provided by Andy Reid. 1 year, prove it deal with incentives up to $11 million if possible. I would love to see him earn that, because if he's earning it, that means the Chiefs offense are able to continue to put up better numbers and they have a better chance of three-peating because he's here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Take a 2-second really quickly. I hope you're able to like it and get us out there to more Chiefs fans as we try to grow Rogue Nation, as we call it here on RGR Football. You guys have yourselves a fantastic day. It's Friday. Chiefs signed Marquise Brown. They might be doing some more later, so enjoy your weekend. We'll see you.